Have you ever stopped to think about how the kitchen is the heart of our home? I used to see mine as a battlefield. Pots stacked high, utensils scattered everywhere, and that feeling that there was never enough space for anything. Every time I stepped in, it felt like the clutter was screaming for attention. I often asked myself, why is it so hard to keep this kitchen organized? It was in this chaotic setting that I discovered a Japanese organizing method that changed everything in just one day. I'm not talking about magic solutions or empty promises, but rather a practical and accessible way to transform a chaotic space into a calm and functional environment. The first thing I did was analyze every corner of my kitchen. The sight of those overcrowded shelves distressed me. I decided I needed to take action. I researched and found a simple yet powerful method that focuses on eliminating excess and valuing what truly matters. I started by taking everything out of the drawers and cabinets. It was surprising to see what was hidden. Utensils I hadn't used in years, duplicate silverware, and even empty containers that were just taking up space. Looking at that mountain of items made me realize that many of them had no reason to be there. The first step of this method is categorization. I grouped the items into categories: what I use daily, what I use occasionally, and what I seldom use. This classification revealed a shocking truth. About 70% of what I had was not being utilized. Just imagine the space I could free up by donating or discarding those things. Then I moved on to the pot drawer. How many do you have? I had more than 10, but I only used 3 regularly. I looked at each one and asked myself, does this pot really play a part in my daily life? The answer was clear. The pots I didn't use were donated. The feeling of relieving that burden was indescribable. Next, I moved on to the utensils: garlic presses, vegetable peelers, spoons that didn't match anything. I looked at them and realized that many were there simply due to emotional attachment. But the truth is, they weren't serving me. I donated the ones I didn't use and kept only the tools that truly make my life easier in the kitchen. The hardest part was dealing with sentimental items. I had received many gifts that I didn't use but reminded me of special moments. I learned to value the memory, not the object itself. I took photos of some mementos and donated the physical items. I discovered that memories remain alive, even without the objects. One of the highlights of this transformation was reassessing my cleaning products and pantry items. I had so many products that I hardly knew what I really used. I separated the essentials and discarded anything expired or that I had never used. Now, my pantry is a showcase of what I truly consume. After a full day of work, my kitchen was almost unrecognizable. A bright, organized space where each item had its place. The feeling of lightness was palpable. I wasn't just organizing the kitchen, I was creating an environment that promotes calmness and functionality. What surprised me the most was realizing that this change isn't just about physical organization. The new kitchen brought a shift in my mindset. Cooking has become an enjoyable experience, not a stressful chore. With fewer things, I can focus on what really matters: the food, the preparation, and the joy of cooking. These changes also had a positive effect on my shopping habits. I began to be more mindful of what I bring into my home. The question I always ask myself now is this really going to make a difference in my life? This reflection helped me avoid impulse purchases and appreciate what I already have. By the end of this transformative day, not only was my kitchen more organized, but my mind felt clearer as well. The space now reflects who I am and what I value. The clutter was replaced by an environment that breathes tranquility. If you're feeling overwhelmed by the mess in your kitchen, I encourage you to try this method. Start small, one cabinet at a time, and notice the lightness it brings. In 24 hours, you can transform not just your kitchen, but your entire relationship with the space where you spend so much time. Remember, the true beauty of organization lies in having a space that works for you. And who knows, this transformation might spread to other areas of your life. The kitchen, after all, is just the beginning. Are you ready to take that step? The transformation of my kitchen didn't stop there. With the environment now lighter and more organized, I realized there was new space for creativity. Before, I felt limited by the utensils and ingredients I didn't even know I had. Now, with fewer items, I was able to explore new recipes and techniques that I didn't dare try before. The simplicity of the utensils I chose to keep allowed me to focus on what truly matters: the act of cooking, the joy of experimenting, and the pleasure of sharing meals with loved ones. One of the first steps I took was reorganizing the arrangement of items. I placed the utensils I use frequently within easy reach and those I rarely use on higher shelves. This simple change made all the difference. Now, when I open the drawer, I see everything clearly and immediately. There's no longer that moment of frustration when searching for something hidden behind other items. Every time I prepare a meal, I feel renewed satisfaction seeing how much better the kitchen flows, as if each movement has a purpose. Moreover, the organization method I applied made me rethink my grocery shopping habits. In the past, I used to overbuy, always thinking, what if I need another package of this or that? Now, with a well-organized pantry, I can see exactly what I have and what I need. This not only saves money, but also reduces food waste. The feeling of knowing that I'm making more conscious choices gives me a sense of control that I didn't have before. One of the practices I adopted was meal planning. With the free space and organized pantry, I started dedicating time each week to plan what I'm going to cook. This not only helps avoid unnecessary purchases, but also allows me to be more creative with my meals. I can select recipes that use the ingredients I already have, preventing them from being forgotten until they expire. This practice has become a form of self-care, where I give myself the time to think about what I'll prepare, making each meal a more meaningful experience. Another interesting aspect I noticed was the change in how I host visitors. Before, when someone showed up unexpectedly, I would panic trying to hide the mess. Now, my kitchen is always ready to welcome people. This has given me a sense of warmth and hospitality. Every time someone walks in and sees the clean and organized space, I feel a genuine pride. This also reflects in the conversations I have while cooking. With fewer distractions, I can focus on the people around me, transforming the kitchen into a space of connection and joy. Over time, this transformation in the kitchen began to spread to other rooms in the house. The experience I had in the kitchen encouraged me to view the rest of the house with a fresh perspective. I started applying the same method on letting go and organizing in other areas. The results were surprising. Each space became more functional and enjoyable. The living room, which was once filled with unused items, is now a place of relaxation and leisure. The items I kept there have a clear purpose and bring joy to my life. One of the major lessons from this journey was that organization is not just about aesthetics. It's about creating an environment that makes us feel good. It's about finding a balance between what we want to keep and what we actually use. This new mindset helped me realize that I don't need much to be happy. The quality of the items I keep is far more important than the quantity. This philosophy has become an essential part of my lifestyle. As I continued to organize my home, I discovered that letting go wasn't limited to just physical objects. I began applying these principles to other areas of my life, such as social commitments and habits that no longer served me. The lightness I felt from getting rid of material things extended to my daily routine. Now, I'm more selective about how I spend my time and whom I associate with. This has brought a sense of freedom I had never experienced before. One aspect that is often overlooked is the emotional impact clutter can have on our lives. Throughout this process, I realized how the disorder around me was affecting my mental state. With the house organized, my mind also felt clearer. I can now focus better on my daily tasks, my projects, and even my passions. Clutter is no longer a source of stress. On the contrary, a clean and organized environment has become a catalyst for creativity and productivity. This change is not just about physical space. It's a transformation that touches every aspect of life. Every time I walk through the kitchen and see the space flowing, I'm reminded that life is about conscious choices. Each object that I decide to keep or discard is a statement about what is truly important to me. It's an exercise in self-discovery that helps me align my physical space with my values and goals. This journey isn't over yet. I'm excited to continue exploring and refining my space, and every day I'm surprised by the new discoveries I make. What started as a simple reorganization of the kitchen has turned into a constant quest for simplicity and clarity in all areas of my life. I've begun to ask myself, what else can I simplify? This reflection has led me to explore areas I never imagined could be improved. One of the next challenges was my workspace. Before, it was a cluttered corner filled with papers, dysfunctional pens, and materials I didn't use. When faced with this reality, I realized that the environment where I work also deserves attention. If the kitchen is the heart of the home, my workspace is the mind. A disorganized space only brings distraction and prevents me from focusing on what really matters. I followed the same process of categorization and decluttering. I sorted the documents into 3 piles: what needed to be kept, what could be digitized, and what could be discarded. As I dealt with each piece of paper, I asked myself the same questions that guided me in the kitchen. This not only made organization easier, but also helped me realize that many documents were unnecessary. Today, my workspace is a place where I can be productive and creative, free from the distractions of a cluttered desk. The impact of this transformation has extended to my free time. With fewer things to clean and organize, I realized I had more time for activities that truly bring me joy. I started dedicating more time to hobbies I had set aside, like reading and gardening. This new approach to life made me realize that organization is not just about physical space, but also about how I spend my time and energy. Every free moment is now an opportunity to connect with what I truly love. Furthermore, this new mindset led me to rethink my shopping habits. Before, I would buy on impulse, always drawn in by promotions and new products. Now, I take a more mindful approach. Whenever I feel the temptation to buy something new, I ask myself, will this truly add value to my life? This simple reflection has helped me avoid unnecessary purchases and appreciate the things I already own. Over time, I've noticed that this transformation doesn't just affect me, but also the people around me. I began sharing my journey with friends and family. The response was surprising. Many people felt inspired to rethink their own homes and routines as well. This sparked deep conversations about what really matters in our lives and how we can free ourselves from excess. Letting go has become a common theme among us, and it has strengthened our bonds. One of the most rewarding aspects has been seeing how this change has impacted my relationships. With fewer distractions and a more organized home, I have more time and energy to devote to the people I love. Family meals have become moments of genuine connection, free from the stress of a messy kitchen. Now, every meal is an opportunity to share stories, laughter, and experiences. The kitchen, which used to be a source of stress, has transformed into a space of togetherness. This new perspective on life has made me realize that organization isn't a goal in itself, but a means to achieve a more meaningful life. What I've learned from this journey is that true minimalism goes beyond having less. It's about making conscious choices that reflect who we are and what we value. Each item I keep in my home is a statement about what truly matters to me, and this brings a sense of empowerment. As I continue to explore this new approach, I realize that simplicity is not just a practice, but a philosophy of life. Every small step I take toward a more organized and mindful life helps me feel more aligned with my values and goals. With each passing day, I discover that I can live with less and still be happier. This translates into a sense of freedom I've never experienced before, and this freedom allows me to dream bigger. I'm more open to new experiences, travel, and adventures. Before, the thought of leaving home made me anxious due to the mess I'd be leaving behind. Now, when I return, I feel that my home is a safe and welcoming space, ready to embrace my energy and creativity. This shift in mindset has allowed me not only to live in the present, but also to look to the future with more optimism. I'm excited to see where this journey of letting go and simplicity will take me. Each day is a new opportunity to discover something new about myself and how I can live more authentically. The transformation of my home reflects the internal transformation I'm experiencing. And as I continue to simplify and organize, I know that I am creating a space that not only serves me, but also inspires me to be the best version of myself. I'm ready to move forward, exploring new possibilities and living the life I've always dreamed of. The transformation journey I started in the kitchen became a catalyst for a series of positive changes in my life. With each new area I organized, I realized that decluttering was not just about physical things, but also about how I related to myself and to the world around me. This new mindset led me to reflect on what I truly value and how that is reflected in my daily choices. I took the lessons I learned and decided to apply the same method in my bedroom. The space that was supposed to be a sanctuary for rest often became a place of accumulation. With clothes scattered around, shoes in disarray, and items I no longer used, the feeling of tranquility disappeared. I looked at each piece of clothing and asked myself the same question: does this really bring me joy or functionality in my life? The answer was often no, and with that, I bid farewell to items I hadn't worn in months, freeing up space and creating a more welcoming environment. When I reevaluated my workspace, I realized that organization not only improved aesthetics, but also productivity. With a clean and organized environment, I could focus on my tasks with greater clarity. Clutter was not just a matter of space, it was a barrier to creativity. With fewer items around me, my mind felt lighter and more open to new ideas. Each day became an opportunity for learning and growth. One practice I adopted was to dedicate time each week to review the spaces I had organized. This became a sort of ritual. Looking at each area, I felt grateful for what I had kept and for the clarity I gained. This constant reflection helps me resist the temptation to accumulate once more. Letting go has become an ongoing practice, not just a one-time event. However, the transformation wasn't limited to the physical space. I began to notice that my relationship with time was changing as well. With fewer things to manage, I was able to prioritize what really mattered. I set aside moments for activities I had always wanted to do, but had pushed aside for lack of time. The simple act of cooking became a moment of pleasure, a pause from the daily hustle, where I allowed myself to experiment with new recipes and savor every bite. These small moments of self-care became essential. Creating a space where I can relax and reconnect with myself is fundamental. When the house is organized, my mind also finds peace. This harmony reflects in other areas of my life. With every step I take, I feel like I'm becoming more authentic and aligned with who I truly am. Over time, the feeling of lightness spread, even influencing the way I relate to others. Interactions became more meaningful and deeper, as I now have more emotional space to listen and share. It's not just about having an organized home, but about creating an environment where people feel welcome and valued. The kitchen, which had once been a source of stress, is now a space of connection. Each shared meal turns into a special moment where stories and laughter flow freely, nourishing not only our bodies, but also our souls. Before you go, do two things right now. Subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to receive the next messages. And share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. To continue, watch the next video. It's already in the cards and also in the description.